Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Sometimes it takes me a minute. I want to jump on here real quick to do a little quick ARE Q&A. It's past lunchtime, so I can't technically call this a lunch and learn, but it is like a happy hour and learn. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful afternoon. I have a ARE workshop coming up tomorrow. I can't believe it's already tomorrow. So hopefully those of you who are on here have registered. If not, go get registered. If you are taking your exams right now and you have any questions, let me know. There's a little box down here or a little bubble where you can ask any questions you have. I just wanted to take maybe 20 minutes, chat with you, see if anyone has any questions and wants to chat. Tomorrow during the workshop, we will also be having a full Q&A session at the end. I tend to go even, a little long sometimes because we have so many questions that we go through, but that's like some of the best part. So tomorrow's workshop is going to be all about getting through the exams and enjoy the process and do it the fastest way. So I'm going to be giving you the framework that is literally like the fastest way to get through the exams while also not totally burning out. So I know there's some programs out there that utilize a method that is really rigorous to get through the exams fast, which does work for people, but not everybody. And so in my experience with the people that I've talked to and the people that I have who have told me their stories, a lot of times when you take a super hard approach to your exams, it can lead you to burnout, which can end up making you delay your exams for a really long time. So I find this like dichotomy of trying to push through extremely quick, like an accelerated path, and then ending up taking way longer than you would have originally. And so it ends up taking you longer. So I have a method that I use that is the most effective way to get through the exams and the fastest being effective while maintaining your happiness, your health, all that good stuff. So make sure you are registered for tomorrow's workshop. If you have any questions of where to do it, just DM me workshop and I'll send you all the info. But today I want to ask you what you need. What are some questions you have about your exams, about the AREs in general, really anything. How is everyone doing today? How's your afternoon? It is 3 o'clock here, 3:30. It's been kind of a crazy week. I say week, I guess last week and this week. So like last night I was up till probably midnight working on some stuff and early today. So it's just one of those weeks where it's just kind of crazy. But how are you all doing? How's the start of your week? Is it crazy too? Is it the moon? I think the moon's changing to a new phase. So maybe that's what I'm feeling. But yeah, how's everyone doing and how can I help you? Oh, thank you, Hector. I really appreciate you being here. I love coming on here and seeing you all and meeting you all. When I do these lives and when I do the workshops, I love it because I see more of like, there's more interaction than just like me posting something and then seeing comments. There's just a little bit more collaboration, which is really nice. So I always enjoy it. So Hector, how's your day going? And are you studying for your exams? Who on here is currently studying for your exams or planning it, like thinking of it in the near future? You could even just like give a little heart or something if you don't want to say anything. Although, there's only a couple of us on here. It's a nice group. Yay, congratulations. Just scheduled your first exam. Hector, unfortunately, I am, you know what? I totally understand saying unfortunately. However, I will say if you are studying for your exams, that means you have come so far in your architecture journey that a lot of people don't even get to that point. So if you're studying for your exams, that's something to be really proud of and to celebrate anyways. So Hector, what exam are you currently studying for? And our explorers, I don't know your first name if you want to tell me so I can refer to you, but you just scheduled your first exam. Which exam are you taking and when are you taking it? And are you and Hector coming tomorrow to the workshop? Because I think it'll be perfect for you. Great question. What can we expect from your workshop? Great question. So during the workshop, I mentioned this a little bit in the beginning, but I'm going to be giving you a framework. It's essentially the method that I have used and many people that I've taught to use is what I consider the fastest way to get through your exams. Now, I mentioned this a little bit in the beginning, but what I mean by fastest is, I mean, it's the one that is going to keep you the most consistent, and it's going to help you pass your exams. I want to say happier. Like, you're going to be happier when you do it. So some of the other methods that do propose taking your exams in really short increments could be looked at as fast ways to pass your exams. However, if you fail an exam during that process, it can lead to extreme burnout. And I have seen this time and time again. I know people who have done that accelerated path where they take like all their exams in 1 week or all their exams within like 6 days. And then they pass a bunch and then they fail one and then they don't take it again for another 2-3 years. The person specifically who I'm thinking of, when I had talked to him, it had been 2 years and he was like, you know what, after that, I was just so burned out. I didn't even celebrate the exams I did pass in that week, but that fail just threw me over the edge. So I'm going to be teaching you a method that you can use, that you can walk away with, that will allow you to take your exams in a very efficient manner, but without burning out. So if and when you fail one of them, you don't just give up or you don't just postpone it for 2 years. You'll be able to stay consistent. So I have people who have been trying for years to get through their exams, and I've worked with them and they get in there, they pass their next 2 exams back to back, then they fail one, but then they take it again they take their next one that very next month. And that's the biggest shift, is that when a fail does happen, you don't just give up. So we're gonna dive way deep into that tomorrow in the workshop. You can ask questions, it's gonna be interactive. The other great thing about these workshops is that you get to meet other people who are in the same thing as you. So they're in the same, if you've failed an exam before, you will meet people who have failed before. If you are just getting started, you will meet people who are just getting started. So it's just a great way to hang out and be in a community. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll up a little bit. Hi Martha, how are you? Just scheduled my 3rd CE, congratulations. That's huge, not giving up, I love it. And when are you scheduled to take that? Many people say to study the AHPP book, others say Black Spectacles or Amber Book. I would say different. You can 100% pass, I mean, not all of the exams, but you can definitely pass practice management and probably project management with AHPP, and not Amber Book or Black Spectacles. And I know that because that's what I did. I didn't actually use Amber Book until I got to PPD and PDD. In my opinion, Amber Book is amazing for the technical exams, but it won't be your only resource for the pro practice. Architect's Handbook of Professional Practice is a must-have. Do I have that right there? And I have Architect Studio Companion. I keep You might recognize some of those ones. I keep some of my textbooks. Architect Handbook of Professional Practice, I think I have on my iPad. And it's something I still reference to this day as an architect in my studio. So it's one that you just want. Like, I always see people getting rid of their books after they pass all their exams. But in my opinion, especially from someone who has needed to get creative with details and come up with some good details, keep some of your core books. Like, there's a reason why we learn from the resources we learn, because it makes you a great architect. And so it's important to be able to reference those as an architect. So, you'll see here I have Heating, Cooling, and Lighting, Architect Studio Companion, Building Construction Illustrated, Fundamental of Building Construction. Like, these things I actually reference. Not all the time, but I do. So I think that's important. So definitely get yourself AHPP. You have to. And then Black Spectacles, Amber Book, well, especially Amber Books, great for technical exams. Black Spectacles is good for, I would say, like learning the knowledge from a different perspective that's not just reading a textbook, and that's really helpful. And Black Spectacles, I think I have a 15% off to Black Spectacles in the link in my bio, so if you want to go check that out, you can too. But I was going to say that with Black Spectacles, it's good for like, content, and then also like, practice quizzes and stuff, practice questions. But please get the AHPP. You have to, you're not going to regret it. So there's a lot of you, quite a few of you that I see already. I recognize some of your names that are already registered for tomorrow's workshop. I love that. If you're not, just shoot me a DM and say workshop, and I can just send you all the details once I get off here. And then that way you can have the link. And we're going to be meeting over Zoom. Originally, we were going to meet in my ARE Facebook, or it's not Facebook, ARE community group that I have in my community. So if you're not part of that, make sure you're part of that. But I decided not to meet the workshop on there because it's just kind of like a beta version of this software, and I just didn't want it to be not ideal. You know what I mean? Okay. Lulu, do you have a reference sheet for what to read for the exams? For example, PCM on AHPP? Yes. So do you have my, it is HPP, yeah. Do you have, Lulu, my ARE resource guide? If you don't, make sure to get that, and that will break out different areas to read for what exam. And then if you want a really detailed, the ultimate study plan is what you're looking for. And the ultimate study plan is an investment. I mean, it's not a free resource like the ARE resource guide, so start there. The ultimate study plan is going to tell you exactly what to read and what to study for each exam and give you it in like a 6-week breakdown. So it's basically a 6-week breakdown study guide. So if that's what you're looking for, I would go to the ultimate study plan. But start first with just the ARE resource guide and see if that's what you're looking for. And that too, you can find all resources of mine free and paid in the link in my bio. But if there's ever anything too that you're questioning, just DM me and I can send you anything. I don't know why I'm out of breath. I'm sitting here. I feel like I'm talking fast. Marcia, how are you? Can you talk about anxiety for a test you have one attempt left for the year? Yes. And I believe I saw you're registered for tomorrow, right? So if so, please make sure you come because we will definitely dive more into that. That is going, I can brush on it now, but really that's what we dive deep into inside Mind Over ARE. It is transformative for people who are dealing with test anxiety. So definitely come tomorrow, but also Mind Over ARE is going to be a game changer if you have test anxiety. We have people who had literally, from their own words, crippling test anxiety, and then go in and say it just felt like another day and it was no big deal. which then they passed because they were able to focus on the questions and what was in front of them rather than, worrying about that past experience. So with that said, I would say this. The anxiety that's coming up is because you don't want to experience what you experienced last time, which was a failed exam. And so essentially anxiety is the fear of an unwanted future. And so what happens is we start to really focus on what we don't want. And then it starts to build up that energy. We start to have those memories of how it felt, what that experience was like, and we can start getting really worked up about it. So one really easy trick is try to switch your brain when you start to think of what you don't want to happen into what you do want to happen. So yes, you failed before. Yes, it is the last opportunity to pass this year, but you also can pass, and it's possible that you never have to take it again. So focus on what you do want to happen and what you need to do in order to get there to make that happen. So if I'm focusing on what I don't want to happen, then I'm gonna be creating the habits and the thought processes and all those things towards what I don't want to happen. But if I start focusing on what I do want to happen, and I'm not telling you that those thoughts won't come in. Those thoughts will come in, but when they do, that's when we want to kind of switch it and be like, yes, that happened next time, but what also can happen? It's possible that I can pass. So start focusing on what you do want to happen and what you need to do in order to make that happen. So maybe that's going back to your notes after you took your last exam and seeing where maybe you needed to focus a little bit more energy on in your studying. Or maybe you really feel like you have nailed down the content and then maybe it's not a content issue. I think especially when you've taken these exams multiple times, you know what the information is. A lot of times it's not a content issue. And so looking deeper into that to figure out, okay, if it's not a content issue, what could it be? How am I feeling on the day? Am I giving myself enough breaks and grace during the whole process? Anything. So focus on what you're doing, what those Okay, am I back? Sorry, I got a phone call. See how you can adjust it. So I hope that helps kind of answer your question, but definitely come tomorrow. We will do a much deeper dive tomorrow. And then if you have more specific questions, definitely let me know. Okay, I forgot that the person who just called me is on their way to my house. So I have to run, but I wanna see everybody tomorrow at the workshop at noon. Just DM me workshop and I'll send you the link if you are not registered. And I look forward to seeing everybody. Okay, have a beautiful day and I will talk to you soon.